Hi, my name is Erin and I'm a student at Ball State. Today I'm going to show you our James Dean Memorial and Museum and Gallery in Fairmount, Indiana. It is a pretty small town. Fairmount is a pretty small town about 45 minutes north of Muncie. They have a whole gallery. The whole town is basically dedicated to him and where he grew up. So when you first walk in the museum, they have their area where you can buy memorabilia. So they've got lots of different t-shirts and all different sizes and colors with different faces, like different pictures. They have some books, they have posters, I thought the posters were pretty cool to look at. They had just different scenes from his movies and headshots and some drawings. It was really cool to look at. I'd never been there before, so it was my first time as well. They also had some hats to look at, more shirts. Here they had a bunch of different like refrigerator magnets, some magazines that you could purchase, and then this is their dog that the owners have. He kind of just runs the shop. He was the sweetest dog. But yeah, so the memorabilia, there was lots to look at, lots you could buy and purchase. The prices were really reasonable. They had different postcards and different things. Here's some more shirts. So when you walk in after that, there's different cases throughout the whole building. So here's some cases with different movies. You can see there's just different headshots of him. Lots of different memorabilia. There's a plate that was painted, magazine covers. So this area over here just has some more memorabilia. You can see there's lots of display cases. In this one, it talks more about like his education and growing up because you can see like the pennant from Fairmount. We've got a Letterman's jacket and his letter, which he lettered in. So then it's got all different kinds of things. Then coming up to our right, we will have um, the clock from Fairmount High School. I thought that was a pretty cool display. It just shows you just some concrete from there as well. And then this is the motorcycle of his friend Nicky Bazooka. He pays a pretty cool tribute, or paid a pretty cool tribute to James Dean every year by driving in his motorcycle and giving a few words at a memorial service. And then that scarf that's wrapped around his leg or neck, you would see he would keep that and then give it to a person that was at James Dean Memorial. So here you can see these are just different pieces of for movie sets that James Dean was in. So these are all just some memorial pieces. You see some busts here, some plates, some black and white pictures of his grave site. Just lots of black and white pictures. There's some model cars down there. Lots of in memorial things. This was for James Dean, his speeding ticket and notice to appear. And then this was his remembrance service and a news article that came out after his death. So he was killed in a motorcycle accident. So these are all different plaques and movie posters. This is a plaque of dedication to him. Just a little cardboard cutout. I thought this one was really cool. It's like a poster board and it's got all the different stories about him. And then more memorabilia and posters. There's lots of posters I thought were really cool because I didn't really know much about James Dean going into this, so I learned about a lot about like what movies he was in and that kind of stuff. Because they have all kinds of different memorabilia. There's Paramount Theater, a ticket to a show. They've got all these different sculptures and acts of different representations of his movies and plays and stuff. And then here was the where he's portrayed as the immoralist, and that passed to Seed Giant at the theater. And then here was a chair from the original theater and a case that has some magazine covers and some head busts and everything else. Cool because it had a lot of different artist renditions of James Dean. It also had some plates that were made, a couple hats that he wore in his movie. And then this was one of the rooms inside the museum. It's got you can see James Dean looking over a fence. It's got this really cool blanket that was handmade. And then it just got a bunch of more memorabilia. This is where those portraits were. Um, and you can just see all the different things that they have. There's this Hell Drivers thing. And then in this room, they had these different cases that showed all these different buttons of James Dean. This was probably my favorite part. I just thought that all the different buttons were really cool. You can see that each one's different and unique. There's three cases altogether. So here's the second one. You can see some of the buttons are more realistic and not just like a circle, but actually have like his head shape. And then all the different colors. Here's the ones that we remember. And then this one is just more pictures of him. There, you can see there's quite a variety of pictures of him while he was alive. So I thought that was pretty cool, lots of headshots and everything. And then here is his motorcycle jacket from Hell Drivers. And then this case has a lot more memorabilia. A lot of it was handmade by people. Um, this cool work of art. There was like a 3D image of him sitting there smoking, and all these different mugs and such that had his faces on it. You can see there's a lot of different things that they have collected. Some more busts, a teddy bear with his image on it, some more movie posters, and then this really cool umbrella that has his face on the inside of it. And this case just had some more images and memorabilia. This one actually had a lot of things that people have made. Just a close-up shot of that 3D picture. Here's some news articles about him, about things that go on in Fairmount, Indiana, about the gallery and all things that they can do. And then here's some more articles about his memorial. Got some more busts, and you can see his Fairmount pennant down there. Here's little pamphlets from his movie Our Town, some letters that were written to him. All these different things just really added up. Here's somebody made a paper structure of him, and then these busts. I thought this was really cute. And then in the back they have here's a little library that has all different kinds of books you can buy. They're mostly biographies and autobiographies. And then there's some posters. They've got all these more shirts and cut off flannel shirts that he's known for wearing. Some more library books and vases up top from local artists that you can buy. And then in the back, there's more memorabilia. This was a record player that you could play records on. And they have different, like, old-timey magazines. They have bottle lid art. They have all different kinds of that with different pictures of James Dean and his different movies. You can see lots of those hanging up, and they were all available. And then usually they have this viewing room going on. When I went, they were actually closed, but they let me in because it was it being for a project for school and for everything. But they have this screening room, and they played his shows. Here's more bottle art. They had all these keychains that had like more old-timey names that you don't normally find on keychains. And then they had a bunch of art of different people, lots of James Dean memorabilia for sale. This was on the original balcony railing for the Indiana Theater where he performed. Just some more. This was the light figure from Fairmount High School, so I thought that was pretty cool. Um, and then another stage pass, and that was when his friend visited him, and he left that for him to get in. Here's some more records and books about him, some plates that were painted. And they just had a lot of really cool memorabilia. You can see a big bobblehead. There's a car, his loafers that he wore, um, and then this is just a note that was written from his friend Kobe. So then they had a bunch of postcards you could buy for like 99 cents. Um, so this is in as you turn into the cemetery to see where he was buried in Fairmount, Indiana. They have it very well marked and labeled so that you know where you're going. So you can see people still stop by and put flowers and everything at his grave. They keep it beautiful. His cousin actually still lives in town and keeps it pretty with mums and a bunch of different things. There's some pumpkin decorations. This rock is in front of it where people stop and sign it. They put change up there for him. It's also usually covered in kisses. So this is where James Dean bought his first motorcycle. It has been bought now and is now part of the Ninth Street Gang. It's a car club where they store all their old cars. But you can see here the receipt from when he bought his first car from there, or his first motorcycle, I'm sorry, from there at Carter Motors. And then right next to that is the church that he went to as he was growing up. So James Dean was born in Marion, Indiana, but moved to California with his parents. After his mother's brief stint with cervical cancer and subsequent death, he was forced by his dad to move back to Fairmount, Indiana, with his aunt and uncle who lived on this farm. They he lived here basically his whole life, except for when he had attempted to move back to California while he went to Santa Monica University and lived with his dad, but that didn't work out and he moved back. So I just really thought this whole town is really neat. There's so many different dedications, and here's a holiday Airbnb that you can even rent. So I just thought it was really cool. All over Fairmount, they just have a bunch of stuff dedicated to him. So hope you enjoyed.